All right, we have a lot to get to. There is a incredible amount of breaking news surrounding the coronavirus coming in right now. First, if you were watching Channel 3, you saw that President Trump at 9 o'clock addressed the nation and suspended travel from Europe, excluding the UK, and this will start Friday.
Effective for 30 days. Now, the president says that they did something similar with many of the flights coming from China previously. This is the action they've decided to take right now to control the situation. Obviously, it's very bad in Italy right now, the spread of this disease. The entire country pretty much quarantined right now. People aren't allowed to really go too far or do anything at this point in Italy as more deaths are reported there. More cases, as we've been saying all day today, right here in Connecticut. A third confirmed positive case reported. An elderly man who lives in New Canaan is reportedly recovering right now. So that makes 3 positive cases. 2 other cases that were individuals who live in New York but worked in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then several tests are still at the state lab right now. But again, there is a lot of information just coming in right now about this. Another big one, and again, we'll revisit some of this, but the NBA just announcing that they are suspending the rest of the basketball season. The NBA.
We were shocked. You have to think, we hear a lot in the newsroom and we're always getting information and we kind of take it all in, and people were literally yelling across the newsroom, oh my gosh, the NBA has suspended all of its games. So,
apparently a player tested positive, Bill, is that correct, in Utah, if that is from
Yeah,
and
they had thought about the NBA was trying to consider what to do after March Madness decided, the NCAA saying, hey, we are not going to have fans at any of these championship games.
But by the way, the NBA just said that was most likely a possibility as well. And then you now have
Correct.
to wonder what will happen with March Madness. I mean,
know.
obviously today they made the decision there would be no crowds except for immediate family and people pertinent to the game.
Someone just said, is the NBA suspending their season? Yes.
Yes.
The
It's
NBA
over.
is suspending their season. It is all over. A lot of people asking, too, about the Hollywood couple with the coronavirus. We just learned this was posted by Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson. This was on their Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll read a little part of it here. Hello, folks. Rita and I are down here in Australia. We felt a bit tired, like we had colds and some body aches. Rita had some chills that came and went, slight fevers too. To play things right as is needed in the world right now, we were tested for the coronavirus and were found to be positive. So I think a lot of us were.
Yeah, I think they have to stay in Australia now.
They do.
And kind of wait this out.
Basically that they're following all the protocols that need to be followed. They're going to be tested, observed, and isolated. So definitely shocking. Someone posted, no one is immune to this, and that's
right.
Definitely true.
Casinos, church, things like that. They want people to stay 4 to 6 feet away from each other right now. If you have any kind of flu-like symptoms, mild flu-like symptoms, they don't want you to be going to work. I think they've made it very clear. I mean, this is kind of going up still. We have not reached a point where they're now saying, like in China, where they may have turned a corner there. They said on the CBS Evening News tonight they've started to dismantle some of the hospitals that they even built there to house patients because the numbers have gone down so much, so that's good news. But here in this country, it certainly sounds like, if you listen to the government officials, we are just beginning this.
I also think when a lot of these groups and schools and et cetera cancel, it does put pressure on those who have not canceled, right or wrong, that maybe they should move forward with canceling, as to not put anyone in a bad situation.
And someone else mentioning right here as well, NCAA March Madness, which we were just talking about. They announced earlier today that they would be no longer allowing large crowds. The games would happen not in front of large crowds. So, but again, tonight you have the NBA saying absolutely no games whatsoever. The season's over, which is an incredible development. You can't help but wonder what will happen now. UConn, also a big announcement today from UConn. In some ways we were waiting for this, to be honest with you.
I was surprised that it came as late as it did, given the fact that other schools had already moved to online courses here in Connecticut.
Which is what they're doing. Starting Monday the 23rd, UConn will move to an online course delivery for classes held at the Storrs campus and the regional campuses for the School of Law. It will stay that way until at least Monday, April 6th. And if that changes at all, they'll certainly let people know down the road.
And spring sports have been canceled already for all of the NESCAC schools here, which are Connecticut College, Middlebury, Wesleyan, and Trinity. So all of spring sports are done. And in terms of the championships, if any of those schools are involved in them, they are being played without fans. I just said 2 days ago, this really felt like things were starting to escalate and rapidly change.
Well,
and
someone just mentioned
happening.
baseball as well. I mean, home openers are coming up in, a month now? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot to look at. If we don't see a corner, if we don't turn a corner where this is concerned pretty soon, you can't help but think it's going to impact baseball as well.
There's also WrestleMania, which is coming up in a few weeks, which is a really popular event with a lot of people. WrestleMania, of course, based in Stamford, and they are also trying to consider their options right now because of everything that is going on. Obviously, it's tough making these decisions, but no one wants anyone to get hurt.
Right.
It's serious, and so it's a tough situation. We were talking about the CIAC, with all the high schools, how all of the winter sports championships are not happening, and it's heartbreaking for the players and those student athletes, and especially the seniors.
People are talking about washing your hands. That's very, very important. They keep talking about that. Obviously, it can make a big difference. We did a story last week where it shows the germs on your hand, and if you put it under a black light, how you wash it, it really does make a difference. Obviously, the problem here is that where, when you talk to people and things like that, or your hands are dirty and we touch our face, it's immediate contact, and that's kind of how this is happening. So.
And you have to think so many things have just recently happened. All of those, the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes and SAG Awards and the Super Bowl, all of this happening right before the coronavirus. So they got, their stuff in, but now anyone who has anything now, it's really a tough situation.
Melissa's asking about schools, and I have to tell you, there are a lot of schools impacted.
I printed this out.
We have a whole section right now on the Channel
do.
3 app, WFSB.com as well. And if you have Apple TV, Roku, or Fire TV Stick, you can download our new streaming news app. If you search for WFSB, there is content on all of that now.
Yeah, a couple big ones is that Greenwich Public Schools, they're closed through next week.
That was just announced tonight.
I know that is one of them. New Canaan, they are going to be closed for the next 14 days. So that was another big one. The Region 14 school district we mentioned yesterday, that was connected to the second case where the woman who tested positive for coronavirus, we believe, has a grandson in the Region 14 school district. Why is out of an abundance of caution, they closed schools to allow for a deep cleaning there. The other one, Wilcoxon Elementary School in Stratford, that's closed for the rest of the week after learning a student was exposed to a confirmed case of the coronavirus. The other big ones, Westport Public Schools are closed until further notice, and Wilton is closed until further notice. So those are the big ones. There are some that are closed for a few days, but
a lot are also limiting any kind of after-school activity, any kind of
nothing with
gathering.
More than 100 people.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme. The theme right now. Casinos are closing, buffets. There's just it's kind of a situation right now where they're trying to keep people apart from each other.
And it's 74 people we learned today.
That's right.
In a press conference that have been tested for coronavirus. 3 obviously positive, as we mentioned, 71 negative, and then there's 16 people still waiting for their results in queue, so to speak.
The issue right now is, of course, testing, getting the test. If people think they have the symptoms or aren't feeling well, they're really only giving you the test if you tell them, hey, I was just in Italy or I was in China, if you have a direct link. At least that's my understanding, because we don't have enough tests to be testing everybody. If you are just joining us right now, just to recap a couple bullet points, the NBA has effective immediately called off the season, at least until further notice. No more NBA basketball games after a player tested positive. UConn announcing an online class schedule starting the 23rd. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson have tested positive for coronavirus.
They're in Australia, which is where they will be as they're being isolated after testing positive. So those 3 updates we literally received in the last 30 minutes.
Yes.
So it has been a big 30 minutes. As you know, Wall Street has been crazy. The Dow down again today, I think almost 1,500 points. So this is obviously affecting the economy big time. There's a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now, as you can imagine. And there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of anxiety, and our app also has a section where you can go and kind of see, how do you talk to children about this? How do you deal with this situation? And as we always stress, we never want to cause fear. We just want to inform. And that's what we are all about here.
Without a doubt. And, there's going to be many more new developments coming up in the next hour, because this is a story that's just changing by the hour. We will have the very latest for you coming up tonight, including more on everything President Trump talked about tonight involving this travel ban, which will take effect starting Friday, involving Europe, excluding the United Kingdom. There's just a lot going on. I have to be honest with you. You almost have to pause and think about the magnitude.
It is.
One of the health officials in Connecticut today said it has been more than 100 years since we've seen anything like this. Almost no one pretty much, unless you're 100 or older, has witnessed anything like what's going on right now. So the magnitude of this and the seriousness of this is very important.
Yeah, we haven't heard back from the Hartford Yard Goats and Dunkin' Donuts Park about what they're planning on doing, but that was someone we reached out to. The Hartford Athletics did postpone their first 2 home games. Hartford also temporarily closed the 4 senior centers in the city until further notice, and they suspended daytime programming for adults at their 2 recreation centers. The XL Center saying they've seen a drop in attendance, which is not surprising.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen video on airplanes of people flying. There's 3 people on
the whole huge
open airplanes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get a good deal on a flight right now, not that you want to go anywhere.
The Northeast Fishing and Hunting Show canceled. That was set for March 20th to 22nd at the
every
Connecticut
St. Patrick's
Convention
Day
Center. Every parade, even the Boston parade, the Chicago parade, the ones in Ireland, all canceled.
Yeah.
So it's something that obviously we're staying on top of, and we want to keep you informed. As soon as we learn anything, we absolutely bring it to you right away. And it's just a lot right now. It's hard to digest.
Yeah. We will continue to get you new information. If we have anything breaking or urgent, we'll bring it to you here on Facebook, and of course have the very latest for you at 11 o'clock.
All right. Everyone stay well.